Hello, everyone. In today's Compassion and Action segment, we're speaking with Isabelle Cnudde. She's the creator of Rescued. It's a card game about animals that you may have seen featured in our newsletter. She's the founder of Chlorophyll, which is an all-volunteer animal advocacy nonprofit and micro sanctuary in the San Francisco Bay Area. She's an educator, she's an activist, and she's a vegan cook who is creating delicious vegan versions of classic French dishes. Welcome, Isabelle. We're so glad to have you with us.
Hello, thank you for having me.
So, Isabelle, the first thing I'd like to ask about is your game, Rescued. Everybody loves it. How did you come up with the idea for it?
Yes,
and how is it different from other trivia games about animals?
So I love to play. It really started from that. I love to play board games. Always have played with my siblings when we were little, and now play with my friends. And I think it's also a great way to learn. So that game I really created with to have fun with for the kids and adults alike. So it's a trivia game. It's a mix of knowledge, strategy, and there's some chance in there. And basically you get to learn about animals, about their life, natural life, but you also get to learn their life in the farms. And I think this is what is different from a lot of trivia game. We take it to the animal right, animal welfare point of view. So we learn about their life there. And so basically the game is about to rescue, it's a race between the players to rescue cats, dogs, chickens, pigs, and cows. And we put on purpose cats and dogs at the same level as the farm animal. That's totally done on purpose. And this game feature individual animals that exist and that live in sanctuary and shelter here in California. So this is a game that I use a lot in my humane education work also.
Well, speaking of Rescued and your rescue, I know chickens play a big role in your life and your rescue. And how did you first get acquainted with them, and why are they so special to you?
Chickens are just little awesome creatures. I started to keep chickens in my backyard when I was a vegetarian. So I was still eating eggs and dairy at that time. And I kind of knew the way the egg layers were treated in the industry was not great. So I said, okay, I want happy hen in my backyard. So that's how I got introduced to them. I brought them in my yard. And very quickly, from egg layer, they became pets. They are, when you live, and that's, I think, with every animal, when you share your life with them, you get to know them. You get to see their different personality. And chickens are very different characters. They're all individuals. They love to, play, learn, do many things. And as I got to know them, they were pets. And a day, a hawk came in my backyard and killed one of them. And that was very sad. Chickens are very social animals. So they like to be, in a little group, little flock. So I was looking to grow my flock. And this is when I kind of realized, I adopt my cat, I adopt my dog, I bought my chicken. Why? Can I adopt chickens? And actually the answer is yes, you can adopt chickens. There is a lot of wonderful rescue organizations that, rescue chickens from different situations. I got my two hens from an egg farm. They were rescued by Animal Place. And when I brought them home, they were so amazing. They were so happy to be in the yard, running around, that they inspire me to start volunteering with an organization that rescue them. So I got to help them I got to help them being rehabilitated after spending 2 years in a farm. I got to learn a lot about chicken care, and this is where I was even invited to go in one of those farms to rescue some hens. And that was really a big moment where that changed my life, because you can see everyone. I mean, a lot of things through undercover investigation, what happened in those farms. But when you go in one and walk through it, and it's different. It's so that was the point where I became vegan. It's like I don't want to participate to that.
Can you talk more about that? I know you've rescued both chickens and your dog from the meat industry. Can you tell us a little bit more about those experiences?
Yes. So for the egg farm, it was a battery cage farm. So where all the chickens are really confined in tiny little cages, they really have no space to turn around. And I think, for me, even if I saw footage beforehand, is the smell when you walk and you have that stench, because they live on top of their feces and all the stuff, that fall through the cage. And my boots were not high enough to walk through that. And this is what they live their whole life. I mean, they're 2 years, they are alive. They really have nothing to do. And as you mentioned, I also rescue a dog from a dog meat farm. And I went to South Korea with Humane Society International, where they have this big program to end the dog meat trade. And what I saw there was dogs in cages, on top of wire. There is nothing in those cages, nothing for the dogs to do. There is not even a bowl of water, because they would, throw that away. So they get, a bowl of food once a day, and that's it. And I mean, the parallel between those two farms, were uncanny. It's the same thing. What they do to dogs, what we do to chickens is the same. And I know here, we see chickens as food and dogs as pets, but what's the difference? And seeing the way they were treating both places, it's like they are the same. They are sentient beings, and that reinforced my desire to be their voice. And Sky is the dog that is living our life with us now.
So you mentioned being a voice. You already do a lot in your activism. If you can tell us a little bit more about what you do aside from running the sanctuary, and what your plans are for the future.
Yes. So actually, we have in our backyard those 10 chickens, 2 turkeys, and Sky, our dog, and we care for them for their whole life. But the main work that I do is going out there and talking to people and telling their story, the story of the chicken, the Sky story. So I'm invited to schools, high schools, community center. I go to summer camp, basically sharing the life of the animals, and kids are very, receptive to that. They understand, what's the right thing to do. So what I want to do is, in the future, is just do more of that. I want to broaden my outreach. I love to play, as I said, and so I want to do more of the game. I would love to make extension to the rescue game and include the sea life and the wildlife. I mean, we talked a little bit about it today, but I think those are the other, to have the whole pictures for the animals.
Okay, so this is the last question we have time for. If you could tell us a bit of advice, what is the one thing that each of us can do today, right now, to make our world, everyone's world, a more compassionate place?
Well, I would say number one is stop eating meat, dairy, and egg. I mean, this is the biggest thing you can do for the animal. I mean, just the number of animal we impact with what we eat is humongous. And we have the power every time we eat, so 3 times a day plus the snacks we have that power. I mean, if you're already vegan and, adopt an animal, don't buy it, don't support breeding. Even if you have one chickens, you can rescue them. You can adopt chickens. You can adopt. There are sanctuary for fish, for all the different animals. And if you have a little place in your home, give them, a second chance to life.
Well, Isabelle, thank you so much. I think for all of us who don't have a daily reality with chickens, I know certainly for me, you've made me see them in a different way. So thanks so much. And thanks.
Thank you, Elaine. Thank you.